Hello. I'm a little under the weather, but it's time for our March monthly catch up, and I wanted to share a little bit about some things that have happened. I started off the year talking about bipolar grief and going through grieving the loss of my abuelita, my grandmother, um, and I'm happy to say like I'm doing so much better with that. My current challenges are being in a job that I really feel stuck in. I feel really squelched in my creativity. I also feel like it's just a lot for my mental health. So I'm currently looking for other jobs, which is a toll in itself. Um, but I also want to talk about fluoxetine. So I'm currently coming off of fluoxetine. I actually came off of it. Um, this is gonna be 3 weeks ago. So like I started coming off of it at the beginning of the month, and now that it's like, what is it? I think it's the 21st or 22nd of March. I'm finally like almost a month off of it completely. And so I guess I'll start there. But my experience with fluoxetine, um, I had it as kind of like a way to um, dampen some of the like mood swings that I had specifically for the depression. And with that, I found that it was really helpful, um, but not so much that I was like married to it. So I have a new psychiatrist, and I had a consult with a different one before finding this guy, and he's been phenomenal. Like, absolutely loved it. He is on Headway, which is now what my therapy is on as well. Um, and really highly recommend. I've had a good experience with Headway. I'll say the one thing is make sure your billing is set up properly before your first session. Um, I had to pay an extra like $150 because I thought it went through and it wasn't. Granted, my headspace was not great. So if you have a partner or a friend that can double check it for you, if that's something that happens to you frequently like it does to me, then I would definitely say do that. But yeah, Headway has been great otherwise. I have auto billing on, which is really helpful for my brain to just not have to worry about it. I have it in my budget every month, to have like, I have a high deductible plan, so I have it budgeted for like $500 to $800 for medical expenses, including like any kinds of doctor's appointments, psychiatry, counseling, and prescription drugs. And there's a pretty good buffer in there. I live in a very high cost area. I live just outside Boston, so a lot of that has to do with my locale. But all that to say, and I have a high deductible plan, which I think I already said. So all that to say, like coming off of fluoxetine was for a couple of reasons. One, we being my psychiatrist, my partner, and I think that there are some better options for bipolar specifically. So something like a Vraylar would be an option, but something more tailored to bipolar. Fluoxetine is more towards like the depressive. I have really severe like depression and anxiety as well that we've been managing along with the bipolar too. So it's been really interesting coming off of it. I feel like I've been more, like my anxiety has gone up. I feel more like aware in my body of what's happening to me, which apparently is fairly common. But I definitely like talking to somebody else who's thinking about it. Those are kind of things that it helps mitigate. It kind of like shortens how you feel things. So like the overwhelm and things like that have been, I've been able to manage it with other care. So like with my psychologist, talking through like doing talk therapy, EMDR, and a couple of other things, like cognitive behavioral therapy. Did I say EM? I don't mean EMDR. Anyway, but yeah, cognitive behavior therapy has been really helpful. And just like focusing on what I can change. I think that, um, excuse me. I think that it's been really like an easy drug to come off of because apparently it takes a while to come out of your system anyway. And so with that, I found that it was a very gradual taper just the way that my body has been releasing it. It's probably out of my system pretty much at this point since it's been 3 to 4 weeks. Um, but yeah, it's been one of those things that's like surprisingly been a good experience. I am thinking about going on something else. I just talked to my psychiatrist 2 days ago, and we talked about having something while I'm looking for a new job and have some high stress. I'm going on a family vacation, which, while exciting, also comes with a lot of sometimes drama. And I definitely feel anxiousness about that preemptively. And so we're trying to figure out, like, what is that? How do we, like, he put it this way, like, to have, like, a good life and enjoy it. Like, sometimes there are, like, circumstances and times that make it, like, we might need a little extra assistance. And that to me was, like, the first time I thought about the fact that, like, just because I'm on something now, like, doesn't mean I always have to be. And I can always come off of something, like, and picking prescriptions that um, tend to be easier to come off of, like the fluoxetine. There are so many options out there, and so we're going to try something that is easy to come off of, pretty easy to come off of, and can help me with the anxiety that I've been feeling. So I'm actually really excited about that. I think that's like a first for me. I think of maybe is what happened one other time where I'm like really confident because I feel very informed through what my psychiatrist has said, through talking to other people that have bipolar and have been on other prescriptions as well. Of course, it's different for everybody, but that's why I'm here sharing a little bit about that. But yeah, the other thing I mentioned is like job stress and like finding a new job. This one's a really tough one for me to talk about because so I was really good at school and like performed and like just did good in that environment. Not everybody does, and I totally get that. Like I have friends and family that really struggled a lot more than I felt like I did. Um, so I have a bachelor's in nonprofit business management, and then I also have a master's degree in legal studies, specifically in negotiation and alternative dispute resolution. And I would love to use those. I've used the nonprofit degree pretty extensively. If you didn't know, I have my own consulting business as well called Pursuit of Purpose Nonprofit Consulting, which I love. And I would do that full time again if I could. I did for about a year. And then I found my current job, which I thought was my dream job, with an organization that I absolutely adored. It turns out that this role that I'm in is just not a good fit. I knew that like the first 3 months in. My mentor knew that. All of my friends that let me talk their ear off have been so gracious to listen to me talk about it because it's been so challenging for me to be in this role. I've talked to HR since January about trying to move laterally, and they just don't have any positions for me. So I think it won't be a surprise. One of my coworkers actually put his notice in a week ago, so next week is his last week, and he's on a big project that I'm on, and has been just like an absolute delight to work with. So it's been sad, but I'm really happy for him at the same time. And so, yeah, I think like for me, I'm looking for a couple of things in a new job. One is less stress. I want to have fun in my job. I think that's something I want to prioritize, even if it means taking like a 30% pay cut. Like just something I can live off of, uh, and then grow into, like have some upward mobility, I think would be really helpful. Like my confidence since having bipolar in the workplace has really been shattered from the last 2 jobs that I've had. And I think potentially it's just because they've been such high demand jobs. And it's not to say I can't perform under pressure, but I think the way that the manager has been really challenging for me. So I'm looking for something that I feel like I can come and show up and be confident in. just for myself, just for my self-esteem. I think that like I want to believe in myself that I can produce good work again. Something that I can still work on my business with, so still have some like energy to be like excited about what I'm doing every day. I want it to be people facing. I've had a lot of internal roles, and while that's like really good and like has its place, I think for me, I need something more human. So I've learned a lot, like, and I can talk more extensively on this. I just wanted to scratch the surface today, but yeah, I think I've learned a lot about what I want to do, what I'm good at. There's a lot of things that I think I could grow in that I'm in the trajectory of with this job. Um, but I don't know that I want to. And I think I need to come around to terms that, like, maybe that's okay. So if you guys have advice for somebody who has bipolar 2, is trying to find balance in their work life, balance, like, please leave comments and let me know, because I think there is so much that goes into navigating bipolar and also like in managing work. I don't have kids. I like would consider being a stay-at-home mom in the future, but yeah, like I don't even know if I want to have kids. Now I'm kind of just rambling, but I think there's a lot of layers to making decisions, and bipolar is just another set of layers to think through. So, anyway, that's it. I've got a short one. Just wanted to thank you for being here and listening to my story with our little tea talks. Cheers, and I'll see you next time.